Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the best place to be wherever you are on your wealth journey right now. Now a couple of weeks ago I made a video about ISAs, particularly the stocks and shares ISA and the cash ISA, which are the two main types of ISA here in the UK at the moment. Today I wanted to look at the lifetime ISA, which is sometimes called a LISA. Lifetime ISAs differ considerably from normal ISAs, so today I wanted to look at exactly what a lifetime ISA is, who is eligible to take one out, what can you spend the money on, and when exactly can you do that. So, as discussed in the previous video, with your standard stocks and shares or cash ISA, they're very easy access. Anybody can open these types of ISA at any time, and you can get relatively quick access to your cash with maybe only a week or so's notice on some accounts. A lifetime ISA is different. It still works in the same way as a regular ISA in that everything that you save is tax-free within that tax-free wrapper, if you remember. And you can have either a stocks and shares lifetime ISA, a cash lifetime ISA, or a combination of the two. But with your lifetime ISA, there are a lot more things to think about. The first piece of criteria with your lifetime ISA is that you can only open one if you're aged between 18 and 40 years old. So there is an age limit restriction on them. So you can open a lifetime ISA on your 18th birthday or right up until the day before your 40th birthday. The moment you hit 40, you can no longer open a lifetime ISA. The second thing to note is that you can only pay in £4,000 per year, but you can do that right up until your 50th birthday. So even if you open your ISA the day before your 40th birthday, you've still got 10 years to pay into it if you want to. The £4,000 can be a lump sum per year, or you could pay smaller incremental amounts if you wanted to on a monthly basis, for example. The £4,000 that you pay into your lifetime ISA also goes towards your overall ISA allowance for the year. So remember, in both the 2020 to 2021 tax years and this coming tax year, which is 2021 to 22, the ISA limit is £20,000 across the board. Now that amount does vary from year to year, but let's say for example you took out a lifetime ISA in the 2021 to 22 tax year and you paid in the full £4,000, that means that if you took out any other type of ISA, so let's just say you had a regular stocks and shares ISA for example that you also took out in the same tax year, you could only pay £16,000 maximum into that particular account because your overall limit is £20,000. Hopefully that makes sense. The third thing to think about, and this is actually a really good thing, is that when you take out your lifetime ISA, not only are you investing your own savings, but the government will also add an extra 25% to your savings up to a maximum of £1,000 per year right from when you open it up to your 50th birthday. Oh my goodness, is this too good to be true? I hear you cry. Well, the fourth and most important thing about your lifetime ISA is that the money that you invest there can only be used in certain circumstances. Otherwise you have to pay a fee, which is effectively like paying that 25% bonus back. So what actually can you use your lifetime ISA money for? Well, there are only three things that you can use your lifetime ISA savings for. Number one is to buy your first home. Number two is for retirement savings, because with that one you can only withdraw funds when you hit 60 years old. And number three is you can access your funds if you are diagnosed with a terminal illness and have less than 12 months to live. Aside from those three, if you have any reason at all for withdrawing money from your lifetime ISA, this will be known as an unauthorized withdrawal, and you will have to pay the extra 25% bonus that the government have given you back to them. So it's definitely beneficial to save your lifetime ISA for only those three reasons. So let's just go through and have a look at those three reasons in a little bit more detail then. First of all, buying your first home. Now the criteria for using your lifetime ISA to buy your first home are as follows, and you have to fulfil all of these criteria. So number one, it must be your first home that you've ever lived in, so your status will be first time buyer and you're not supposed to have owned any other houses or anything in the background, so it's your first home to live in. Number two, the property must not cost any more than £450,000. So your first home must be £450,000 or less. Number three, you can only buy the property at least 12 months after you start paying into your lifetime ISA. So let's say you took out a lifetime ISA on the 1st of May 2021, the earliest you could buy your first house will be the 1st of May 2022, next year. Number 4, you must use a solicitor or a conveyancer to act for you in the purchase of your first house, because that way the ISA provider can pay the money directly to them and it doesn't then have to come through you or through any third parties or anything like that. It's all very straightforward and clear cut. And the 5th piece of criteria you have to fulfil is that you must buy your first home using a mortgage of some kind. Now, I have to say that some of you watching this may have an historic Help to Buy ISA. Help to Buy ISAs were brought in a few years ago by the government to help first-time buyers get onto the property ladder. Now, you can't take out a Help to Buy ISA anymore because they don't exist in the way they used to, but if you have an historic Help to Buy ISA, you can actually transfer it into your lifetime ISA instead. Now, the main reason that you might want to do this is because the Help to Buy ISA was a lot more restrictive in terms of what you could buy for what price. Because with a Help to Buy ISA, the property that you were buying couldn't exceed £250,000 UK-wide or £450,000 in London. Whereas your lifetime ISA, you can buy a property with it for £450,000 anywhere in the UK. So that might be helpful for you if you do have an historic ISA and you're wanting to buy a more expensive property. Okay, secondly then, retirement savings. No matter when you start paying into your lifetime ISA, if you don't use the money for your first home, you can always use it for retirement savings instead. Now, the criteria for this is that you can only pay into your lifetime ISA until your 50th birthday. After that, you have to stop paying into your account altogether, but then you can only access the funds from your 60th birthday. If you try to access the funds before your 60th birthday, then you'll have to pay that 25% fee that we talked about. So for example, let's say that you're 38 years old, you're doing quite well, you've already bought your first house and you're fairly settled. You could take out a lifetime ISA now, you could pay in £4,000 per year until your 50th birthday, which is a solid 12 years. And assuming you paid the maximum of £4,000 per year, that'll be £48,000 after 12 years, and that's not even including the 25% government bonus or any interest that you're going to earn in that time. So that's already quite a nice nest egg. After your 50th birthday, you have to wait patiently for 10 years until you hit 60. And then the moment you hit 60, you have full access to all your funds, including the government bonus, completely tax-free. So it's actually really good to wait until your 60th birthday, because that way the funds have an extra 10 years to accumulate any extra interest, all of which will be tax-free when you come to withdraw it. So you'll hopefully have a comfortable nest egg there to retire with, on top of any other pensions and investments that you have. Okay, so the third reason for taking out your funds is if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness and you have less than 12 months to live. Now, obviously this is more of a tricky one, and I really hope it doesn't happen to any of you. But obviously if you've got the money saved up in your lifetime ISA, you could put it towards living the best possible life you can in the time that you've got. And depending on how much you've saved, it also might mean that your family haven't got to worry about funeral costs or anything like that. So I would say if you haven't claimed the money from your lifetime ISA for either of the other two reasons, then this is definitely a nice pot of money to have when you need it. Now, while I'm on the subject of terminal illness, another thing that you might want to consider while you're still able to is to set up some life cover and critical illness cover for yourself as well. I've done a video about this, I'll pop it up here for you, but it's particularly important if you've got a family, you've got a house, you are settled. It's just a bit of extra protection for you and your family. So do have a watch of that video when you can. I'm a huge advocate of both life cover and critical illness insurance because we simply don't know what's going to happen to us in the future. None of us has a crystal ball. And obviously if you've got your lifetime ISA in the background as well, that's all going to help. So is a lifetime ISA a good idea then? Well, I would say if you are very disciplined and you know that you're not going to touch the money, then yes, having a lifetime ISA is a great idea because you do get that 25% government bonus as well. And particularly if you're saving for your first house or you're interested in your retirement savings, then it is actually a really nice thing to create as a nest egg for yourself for the future. You do need to be quite disciplined though, and don't go dipping into it. That's what your other ISAs are for. So it would be worthwhile, I think, getting a lifetime ISA alongside a normal stocks and shares or a cash ISA, and that gives you the best of both worlds. So I hope you found this video useful, guys. Do give me a thumbs up underneath this video if you have found it helpful, and also pop me a comment underneath. Have you already got a lifetime ISA, or maybe you've got an old Help to Buy ISA? Maybe it's something that you're planning to move it into the new lifetime ISA instead. Do have a watch as well of these two videos up next because they will hopefully help with your wealth journey. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and thanks ever so much for watching this week, guys. Do stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.